All right. Thanks, team, for hopping on. November 17th. It is more than halfway, right, through the month. But we still have, what is it? How many days? I feel like we have at least 15 more days to go. 15, 14. So like 2 full weeks, which means that's half of the month still, which is a lot of time for us to still help more people change their lives, right? So it is Thanksgiving coming up, so there's a ton to give thanks to. And I love the Rosas challenge. They challenge all of us. I have an excuse. But you know what? Actually, I want to start doing the challenge in terms of just posting about what we're thankful for, right? Because I think that's an amazing thing to do, not just this month, but I think that every month. And there, puppy. So I thank you guys for, challenging us to do that. Not only the actual physical challenge, but the grateful. Is that a word? The gratefulness challenge. You guys understand me. But thank you for that. And, as I said, I'm excited that the holidays are coming because we get to spend time together. Because we have a fitness, fit club coming up soon. And as a matter of fact, I want to thank Amy publicly because I found out that she's a graphic designer, and getting to know her. And she's freaking amazing. And she put together I'm supposed to go live to tell the entire team, but because I have you guys now, she put together our logo for Team Advent. Rudy and I had a conversation with her and kind of painted the picture as to what we were envisioning. And she came back and she delivered, over-delivered. And they're beautiful. I love it. She gave us some variation in colors, but we love it. Thank you so much. And we're going to be able to utilize them moving forward, not only for the fit clubs, but also when we have team events and we want to put our logo to it. So I'll be sharing those with you guys. Again, I ran a report earlier today, and there's many of you that are, right there, Success Club 2, Success Club 4, which means that you've helped 1 or 2 people, and there's still plenty of time. That's why I said we have half the month left to help plenty of people, and then getting together with our family and friends is obviously a reason for us to, talk to them and lead by example. So let's not eat the whole turkey, but maybe just half. No, just kidding. So, but definitely, congratulations to our 3 coaches that have hit Success Club this month, Michelle and Amy, and and Nilda. Thank you. I knew it was 3 of you guys. So congratulations for achieving Success Club. I gotta say, Maritza has helped 3 people, but she helped someone under her husband. So technically, she hit Success Club. But and we want to also send a lot of positive and positivity and love towards Carolina, because Carolina, this is her 3rd month as a coach, which means that she has to hit Success Club. She has to help 3 people so she can get her free ticket to Summit, which reminds me that Amy, that just ran in back into the room, has achieved Success Club her 3rd month, this month too, and earned her ticket to Summit. So Carolina, girl, let's get busy because you coming to Summit. No excuses.
I'm pushing.
All right. All right. Because Summit this year is going to be amazing. Next year is going to be even more amazing than this year because there's going to be more of you there. But anyway, without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to my success partner. I am really excited about this call because she was in the Llamada Nacional, which is the national wake-up call, but for the Spanish coaches. And she did an amazing job. And that call, I was just listening and I was like, I have to get her, to get to talk to the coaches because I know many of you, either don't speak the language or can't hop on and need to hear this information. With this topic that she's going to talk about today, she's been able to really, her business just has exploded this year because of that. She has helped 5 people rank advanced to diamond, and it's really because she's learned, about their personality. So I want to, formally introduce her. Many of you guys have worked with Melanie before in some of our either Push to Diamond groups or other types of trainings that we've done together. But she is, she's qualifying. This is her last week. So a lot of positivity her way as well, and love. This is the last week that she's qualifying for 5. So her team is qualifying, guys, last week. 1 more week, that's it, for 5-star diamond team, which is amazing. She is the founder of Team Faith Dynasty. She is a Success Club legend, which again means that she has achieved Success Club at 24 months plus and beyond consecutively. To be exact, 33 months. She was in the council in the I was going to say New York City, Orlando Market Council, but now she's a military wife, so she's living in Puerto Rico. She's been there for a full year now, and she is serving there in the council in Puerto Rico. She leads that council. She's amazing. She's a planner. She's a mom of 2 beautiful girls, and she is a wife, and most of all, she is the daughter of our God. So, Melanie, take it over.
All right. Thank you guys so much. I'm so excited to be with you guys. Real quick, who has already listened to the Llamada Latina or Llamada Nacional? Gabby, and that's it? Okay, so that's even better. That's awesome. Oh, okay. Ada did too. Okay, well, Ada, I'm sorry you're going to get to hear this content again. But I hope that, as you listen to it again, come with an open heart and open mind, and I'm hoping that you have another takeaway. So I'm super, Gladys too. Well, Gladys, same goes to you. I am really excited to be speaking with you guys tonight. I know that I've seen many faces before when we've done things together. And so thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm going to share my screen as I prepared a presentation for you guys. I will admit this was, it's kind of, there it is. Okay. Can you guys see it? Gabby, yes? Okay, awesome. This was kind of hard putting it together in terms of going from the National Wake Up script to like a presentation, because it was very conversational. So I'm like, man, it was crazy, but I got it together for you guys. So today we're going to be talking about the importance of understanding your audience. And this is something that I struggled with for a long time. But once I got it, like Gabby said, things just started happening this year in my business, specifically in the last 6 months. It's where I feel like that's where the fruit it has flourished. So, but real quick, I want to share a little bit about my story so you understand, so you can understand 2016. I need you to understand where I came from, where I was in 2014, and what happened and why coaching, right? Well, coaching, definitely my big why, it's my family. I am, like Gabby mentioned, a military wife. I have 2 beautiful daughters. Charisma, she's a senior in high school this year. She's going to college in 7 months. Lord have mercy. And I have a 7th grader who is, amazing, talented. She loves sports. She plays 5 sports. So she keeps me busy going around town, taking her, to wherever she has to go. And then that's the love of my life. My husband, Peter, that's the reason why we are in Puerto Rico. A lot of people ask, do we like it here? And I say that we're on a 3-year vacation. What we live is beautiful, and we absolutely love just the Boricua life, I guess, but it's very low key. We're not like in the crazy part of the island. We're in a very chilled part of the island. If you know Puerto Rico, I live in Ponce right now, and we love it here. So, but why coaching? How did I end up where I am? So back in December of 2013, I started my journey with Shanti. And with Shanti and Focus T25. At that moment, I didn't know anything about fitness. All I knew is I gained 30 pounds and somehow I need to get them off. As I started doing some research, I came across, someone was advertising about it, a friend of mine from my church. And I told her, hey, what is this T25 thing you keep promoting? And she told me about it. And of course, and this is a very important detail because it's easy to immediately dismiss someone that says, I don't have the money, and I was that person. I remember telling my friend, I said, well, I don't have $205 because, T25 Challenge Pack is one of the most expensive. I said, I don't have $205. So forget it, And she said, listen, just go ahead if you don't. And I said, and I don't want Shakeology. I just want the program. And she said, you know what, then go ahead and call the company and you could get a 3-month payment plan. And I was like, oh, okay. And so that was stupid, but I did it. I went ahead and got the 3-month payment plan. And of course I ended up paying more because you got to pay like a fee in the beginning and this and that. It's stupid, but I did it. And I didn't see the results I wanted. So I was a lot more frustrated because I wasn't focused on my nutrition. I was just trying to do the shortcut. Let me just work out and the belly will be gone. Cause I looked like I was 4 months pregnant, literally. So fast forwarding to a month later, I was invited to a Super Saturday. And I don't know if you guys do this, but this is what was told to me. Oh, let's go for a super workout. No one told me there was going to be a business presentation. So I went for the super workout. And of course, the nerd in me, and Gabby can tell you, I'm a learner. I love learning. I listen to personal development and like trainings, like hours and countless of hours per day. It's actually a great thing, but it can also be a bad thing. And I'm going to share a little bit about that a little later. So I, of course, the learner in me, the geek, sat front row and center because I wanted to be there. I was like, oh, it's an actual event. Okay. So I sat there, and as, presentations started happening, transformations, and like, this was in Orlando, and it was like 100 people in this event, and it was very well coordinated. So it was like legit, like it was a good event. And that immediately caught my eye because like she said, I'm an event planner. So immediately I'm like, okay, this is awesome. And so I'm sitting there, and then this beautiful Barbie looking woman comes up, and it's a superstar diamond, which happens to be my coach now. Her name is Ali Upham. She got on stage and she began to share her story. And as she shared her story, I can just feel my heart like just pounding hard, literally, because everything she said, I relate with her. She talked about when she first started coaching, how she was in $100,000 in debt. She spoke about how she used to feel sick to her stomach every time she thought about her bills, how she was ashamed of her life, how she tried to forget that mountain she had on her. She just tried every single day to act like it wasn't there. But as days went by, it got worse. And everything she said, I just kept feeling it. And I was like, this woman is describing me. And I just started crying and crying and crying. And then her husband came up. And I think this is what impacted me. Her husband came up, and she had just earned, so this happened January 2014. They had just gotten their bonus, their 15 Superstar Diamond bonus. And it was, I think it was like $33,000 or $36,000. Don't quote me on it, but it was like over $30,000. And I remember thinking to myself, I just sat on that chair and I said to myself, if I could just make $600 a month, just $600 to cover my student loans, like I'm set, right? Cool. So time goes by. I go home. Time goes by. I talk to my husband, and I tell my husband for like 2 weeks, I said, I want to do this. Like, I know I can do this. It's helping people. Hello, I love helping people. I just have to work on me. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't know how to eat clean. I don't know how to diet, but I'll make it work. And going back and forth, I'm the type of person, I need to see results. I'm a very strong emerald. I need to see results, and I couldn't see results from anywhere. And the only thing I had playing in my mind was that business presentation of a stranger. I mean, who knows if she was lying, right? But I had to take her word for it. I had never heard of Beachbody before, other than buying the product. I had never heard of coaching. I found out about coaching because I went for a super workout and didn't even know what network marketing was. quite honestly. So you know what? I took the leap of faith and decided to start coaching. So if you know me, I'm not shy. The first thing I did, and I thrive on accountability. Gabby can tell you that. I don't like, and it's not even accountability. I'm very competitive with myself. I'm not competitive in a sense of I need to be better than you. Like, that's not me. I'm competitive in the sense of if I know I could do something, then I'm going to do it because I know I can. Like, and so with that same, with that same spirit of mine, I decided that I was going to continue sharing my journey. I had already started, but I was going to take it up a notch and like start sharing my meals as well. And 21 Day Fix, when I became a coach, 21 Day Fix came out right that month. So all I did, I bought the program. I wish Shakeology this time. And I started sharing my journey. And in that month, I got so many people asking me what I was doing, that I was meeting Success Club. I had never taken a new coach camp. I didn't even know what a coach online office was. I just knew that I had a link and that's where I sent people to. And the first month I made $200 and something, and it was all commission. And then my second month I made $660, all commission. I wasn't an Emerald, so it wasn't team volume. It was all commission. And I remember when and by the way, I was still getting paper checks because I didn't know that there was a coach online office where you set up an EFT. You know what I'm talking about? I was getting paper checks and I wasn't even depositing them. I told my husband I want to create a separate account for this business. And so I kept stacking up checks. And at some point I started doing the math after 8 checks because I was getting them weekly. I realized that in between both months, I made $800. But 1 month alone, 4 weeks, I made $660. So I said to myself, there's a business here. Like, I need to really figure this out because if I did nothing other than just share on social media, there's a business here. Why didn't I know anything? Because my upline enrolled me and then she quit a week later. And when I tell you that she quit her business, she didn't cancel it. She just went MIA. She deactivated Facebook and disconnected her cell phone for personal reasons. And so I was left like homeless, like it just felt that way. I'm like, what do I do now? I didn't know that you could go to a Star Diamond coach and that's a whole different story. I ended up finding out later and I'll keep you here forever if I say the whole story. So anyways, I finally found out about a Star Diamond coach and I messaged her and I said, hey, which was Ali Upham. I said, here I am. I've been in this business for almost 2 months. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm making money. I don't know how I'm doing it. I need to do something. So then I was told, you need to go to the coach online office, set up this, set up that. And I was like, oh, okay. So like I went back and being like a new coach and I did everything. She put me through a 30-day new coach camp and I continue to run my business that way. I did nothing else that whole time. I took a new coach camp. I took like a push to diamond. And then all I did for a whole year was hit Success Club 5 or 10. If I was able to, because at the time 10 is non-negotiable now, but at the time it wasn't that way. And not even recruit. Like I would just recruit if it happened. I wasn't actively recruiting. And so I built my business for about a year and a half that way. Okay. So what happened? I somehow, some way lost my joy completely because I wasn't building. I wasn't doing much. I felt lost. Even though I learned the basics of the business, I just felt like, okay, I'm just sitting here hitting Success Club. Success Club has been non-negotiable for me since day one that I knew what it was. I was meeting it, not knowing what it was. But when I found out, it became a non-negotiable goal. But I lost my joy somewhere in the process. And I wasn't sure why. And so at this point, I got connected with Gabby through a mastermind and I started working with Gabby. We became some way success partners, organically. It wasn't like I was looking. I actually had another success partner, but then she had already kind of stopped working in the business. So even while I started working with Gabby and you know, being partners and stuff, I was still on this, and Gabby, I'm sure you remember this, I was on this like negative complaining mode a lot. And like, I just couldn't get out of my own head. I wanted to blame the world. I wanted to blame my team. I feel like there was a point in my business where everybody was wrong but me. Everybody. And I couldn't understand why people weren't connecting with me, why they weren't why I wasn't able to communicate the vision, why I wasn't able to, I don't know. It just felt really, really weird. So, praying about the situation, how I was feeling, I ended up doing something that the Bible tells us to do. The Bible says in Proverbs 12:15, it says, the way of the fool seems right to him, but a wise man seeks advice or counsel. And so, you know, if you know me, I'm a woman of faith, and I apply the Bible to my business just like I apply it to everything else in my life. And so I went to God, and I keep losing coaches. And I must be doing something wrong in this business. And I started to feel bad for people. So I sought counsel. I went to Kim Carver. I'm sure you all know who Kim Carver is, nuestro gringo favorito, our favorite gringo. And he sat me down and very lovingly called me out, to the point that when I left that meeting, I was not sure if I should cry or laugh. Cry because someone just called me out and called my bluff, or laugh because it felt good. It felt like I needed to hear those words. So he told me to do two different things. He said, number one, you're lacking vision. You are so caught up. And I remember him telling me this. He said, you're so caught up worrying about what your upline's going to say, you know, what you're worrying about too much, that you're not focusing on your own vision. So the first thing you need to do is you need to create a solid vision. What do you see for yourself and the team? You need to take ownership of that vision, and you need to stop trying to copy other coaches, because I had the copy, I call it the copying syndrome. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm the type of person, and I am until this day, but I've learned not to copy people, but to learn and then copy, paste, and personalize concept, which is learn it, take it, and personalize it according to your flow, to your flavor, to your business, to your vision, you know? And then I had to do something about my systems and resources. And I had to cut the umbilical cord. And I'm telling you this is key. I know Gabby's an amazing upline. She's an amazing mentor. But it's not Gabby's responsibility for your business to run smoothly. If you don't like the way something's running, you need to say, okay, goodbye. I need to do what I have to do. You shouldn't wait on Gabby for a calendar. You shouldn't wait on Gabby for to do a free clean eating group for you to have some people. You shouldn't wait on Gabby for new coach camp. You shouldn't wait on Gabby for anything. And that was my problem. I was waiting for my upline to do things in order for me to move forward. And I had to cut the umbilical cord. I still use her resources, don't get me wrong, but I made it work for me. And that's what I had to do. I had to make it work for me, but I had to take ownership. All right. So that was the second thing I had to do. Like the word says, when there's no vision, the people will perish. And that's what was happening to my business. I didn't have a vision. So my business was just not going anywhere. And because of that, I tried going for Elite last year. It didn't happen. Gabby can tell you it was very frustrating. I felt like such a failure. And even this year, which I'll get to that, but even this year, I am ending a 5-star, but we won't be ending at Elite because it took time for me to implement the things that I'm going to talk to you about. And so he also said, all right, Mel, so you need to figure out how to work with others. You have a very strong personality, which works for you, but it can also work against you. And that's what's happening right now. You need to learn people's personalities, people's styles, and this and that. So like this quote says, if you don't understand yourself, you can't understand anybody else. So I started off in this meeting, by the way, this meeting happened December of 2015, which is exactly 11 months ago. And Gabby can tell you that I started off the year, which is one of the reasons I'm not ending at Elite this year. I started off the year from that meeting through March, the first quarter. I didn't recruit. The people that came is because they were already kind of like on the fence, but I chose the first quarter of the year to work on me. And that was the best decision that I've ever made. Although I didn't make numbers in the beginning and all of that, like I don't regret it because I'm seeing the fruit of working on me and fixing things now. And I know that 2017 is going to be a glorious year because I had to lay the ground now or at the time. So understanding others. It starts off with the gems. So have you guys, by the show of hands, have you heard of gems before? Personalities, gems? Yes? Awesome. Okay, so this is going to be easier to understand then. So gems. Gems it's basically emerald, pearl, ruby, and sapphire. I'm a ruby. That's a problem. I take charge. I don't wait for people. I run. I don't know how to slow down. Gabby can tell you, I'm like, yeah, we can do it. We can do it. Like it's bad sometimes. I have to check myself a lot, especially when you're working with somebody like Pearls who are, more calm and, or rank doesn't matter. So trying to go for elite with a bunch of Pearls when the rank to them doesn't matter. What matters is other things in which I'm going to share with you guys about, but they're not going to care about a diamond rank. You have to learn to communicate with them and figure out what they care about, and then you can lead them based on what they want and need. Okay? And then you have the sapphires who are the life of the party. And I love sapphires in my team because they make it fun. They make this business joyful. And then you have the emeralds. I'm a ruby emerald. I am all about spreadsheets and numbers and trainings, and I'm a thinker and all of that. So how did I apply the gems in my business? I decided to, when I started learning and studying, because I studied it, I watched YouTubes and I went to Danny Johnson's First Steps and everything. So I decided to apply it to 3 areas in my business. So I started off with prospects, the people that I had been talking to. And when during the conversations, forming them through inbox and things like that, I started also applying them in my challenge groups. Why? Because those were my future coaches. I do this every month. Those are my future coaches. So I'm constantly dealing with gems in there too. And then of course, in the duplication aspect of having the coaches. So part number 1, prospects. How do I apply it every day to my business? First of all, you have to have your ideal coach. If you don't have an ideal coach, this is not my ideal coach, by the way. I found this on Google and wanted to show you an example of an ideal coach. But your ideal coach should be so detailed. And I actually would like to pull up mine and read to you guys my ideal coach. So you see how detailed it should be. If you've been in some of our trainings that we've done before, I don't know if Gabby does it regularly, but we definitely have done the ideal coach in trainings before. Your ideal coach should be so detailed that you almost see her in front of you as you're describing it. So let me give you an example of mine. My ideal coach loves God. She's fearless, she's confident, she's driven, she's passionate, she's focused, motivated, and diligent. She's coachable, she's dedicated, she's open and creative, she's positive, and she has a sense of humor. She's humble, and she loves sisterhood. She loves wine. She loves to travel. She wants time and financial freedom. She's between the age of late 20s and late 40s. She loves personal development. She hates settling in life. She believes there's more to life than a 9-to-5 job. And she loves sisterhood. And yes, I have that in there twice on purpose because it is that important to me that my ideal coach loves community and sisterhood. So you have to have that. You have to know your ideal coach if you want any of this to work. Reason being, you're going to start communicating. There's keywords that I use, and I'm going to show you my board. I have keywords on here. You see my board where it says gems real big. I have keywords that I use when I'm doing my post on Facebook to attract them. So, and we'll definitely talk about that. And that's why I said you identify their language on social media. So once you know these gems, and you see that somebody uses the word confidence, for example, a lot, that means they're emeralds because they need to feel secure, or ruby. They can both use it. But when you have words like People that talk about a lot about commitment. That's an emerald, and that's my ideal coach. I want emeralds in my team. I love working with emeralds. Emeralds and sapphires are like I really like working with them. Or when you have somebody that talks a lot about serving, helping people, that's pearls, because that's all they want to do, and so forth and so on. And I'll give Gabby a list of my stuff so you guys can have it. And when you start doing your post, you need to use these keywords because you start attracting those people. When they see, like, I use a lot, the word confidence, the word integrity, that's an emerald. That's what you attract. And in the last 2 months, I've attracted 6 emeralds because of my language, because I have changed what I'm communicating. I stopped using the term helping people, even though that's what we do. I stopped using that because I was attracting a bunch of pearls, and it was like, it was draining almost. I'm like, oh my goodness, because I want to work with more emeralds, and I'm a ruby, so I have to walk on eggshells a lot with pearls. So it's important that you know what you're posting and what you're attracting. So challenge groups, okay? I had this misconception, and I'm sure you all been through this, right? Where it's day 1 and everybody's pumped. And by day 5, everybody's gone missing in action. And you're like, what am I doing wrong? Like, you automatically think it's you, right? And why are they not committing? And then you feel bad, And through studying personalities, I realized that it's not us. It's because you have to know who's in your group. For example, I am not going to sit here and have, let's see, like a Wacky Wednesday or a Flex Friday if I know everybody in my group are emeralds and pearls. They don't care about having fun. Those challengers are for rubies and sapphires. If I don't have any rubies on sapphires, I'm going to take a Wacky Wednesday. I'm going to focus on what they want. An emerald and an emerald and pearls, they want educational stuff like Shakeology and things like that. They want recipes. They want you to give them things that they can go implement on their own for success, because they want to see results. So what do I do? How do I know now? So on day 2, I have a prep week, and then on day 2, I post this, and I basically, it just talks about how, hey, I tell them what we're gonna do for the rest of the week, but first I want to get to know you more. Read this post below, and I'll show you the graphic. Let me know what you are. And then on day 2, I decide what the life of that 21-day challenge group is going to look like. Because now I have these people, and I'll show you what I put on there. This is the graphic. Now they're telling me their gem. So if I have rubies and sapphires, we're going to have a 21-day party. But if I have mostly emerald and pearl, then it's going to be more educational based, fact based. I do a lot of live videos. They do like to interact. It's not that they don't like to interact. They just like to interact in a different way, okay? So in a challenge group, what do I do? If they're emeralds, like I said, I talk a lot about facts and transformations. They love to see, because they love to see results. So just like I share Transformation Tuesdays on my wall every Tuesday with them, I share every time I see their program. For example, if somebody's doing Payo, and you know how, like, the beach body, they use transformations all the time. I share those. I just do share. Hey, so-and-so, check this out with Payo. And they're like, oh my God. And that makes them work harder because they're seeing results before their eyes. I educate them about Shakeology, and I just give them valuable information from third-party websites. I don't kill myself. I really don't. I wish I had the gift of having a blog and making it all pretty. I don't. So I use a lot of third-party information and give it to them. With pearls, they love to see motivation and transformation posts. They love to see the occasional, I go on Google and I just Google things like, quotes and things like that. They love that. They're quiet though. They're very quiet. And this is why I thought I was failing in my challenge groups. And I realized that is because they're just super quiet. However, if, let's say, Gabby's in my challenge group and she'll post something like, this was a bad weekend and I didn't eat healthy and I feel like crap or whatever, they're the first one to come out of nowhere where you think they haven't been around at all. and they automatically turn on their coach hat on, and they become that coach in the group. Like, it's okay, it's Monday, but they become cheerleaders all of a sudden. And I'm like, I've been texting you for like 3 days and you don't answer me yet. All of a sudden you're coaching, you know, it happens. Be quiet. That's just their personality. And then you have rubies, in which you have to post like hardcore stuff for them. They like to hear the truth. They're driven by hearing the hard truth, believe it or not. A lot of people don't know that, but they like to hear something like Eric Thomas, you know? And of course, they like challenges, even if it's 5 cents. I'm a Ruby. Listen, I'm a Ruby. It's horrible sometimes. I'm very competitive, and we could be in a challenge group, and I'm like, I don't care if it's 5 cents. The fact that I'm winning is what matters, you know? And that's how they are. So it's okay to have a healthy competition. And then you have the sapphires, who love the wacky Wednesdays and the flex Fridays. Oh, and by the way, don't expect them to turn in their weight and measurements. Don't. Like, just don't. They don't. But they're committed. As long as they're engaged, they're committed. But they're not consistent. And they're not consistent in anything that has to do with details. Like having to separate 15 minutes once a week to take in their weight and measurement. Just don't expect it, but they're doing it, okay? So that's how I do with challenge groups. How do I do it with coaches? With coaches, at this point, if they were already my challenger, I already know their gems. So I'm already leading them that way, but they still get a gems test from me along in their welcome email, along with a coach portrait, okay? And in the email, it states that we're gonna set up a call, which I do through text, and then I let them know that call's not gonna happen, which is our GSR, unless I have these 2 things back. Reason being, number one, the coach portrait is what's gonna help me talk to them about their goals, and the gems test is for me to confirm that what they told me in that challenge group as far as their gems, it's true. But I also wanna lead them since day one, since our first mentorship call, I wanna lead them according to their gem. That's key to me. Let me tell you why. Last year, when I lost 7 coaches, that's so sad to say, but I lost all of my 2015 coaches. And I sat back earlier this year when I started implementing all of this, and I realized what I was doing wrong. I'm very hyper. I talk a lot, and I attracted a lot of pros last year. So we would get on a GSR, and since I didn't know their gem or anything, so I would hop on and I'm like, hey, I'm so excited, da, 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 da. And these were people that I didn't know, because I've gotten a lot of strangers, you know, to join the network, and they'll sit there like this, super quiet, and they never got off they never got off to a good start. They were already like, oh, she's hyper. And then I would show them things my way, and guess what happened? People started telling me, I can't do what you do. I can't be like that. I can't be hyper like you. I can't just be a go-getter like you. And that started making me feel bad, you know? So why do I tell you this? Because if you know their gem, so I'm going to give you the example of the pearl, because number one is the one that I struggle with the most. And it takes a lot of work out of me, but I learned to master this. So if I'm going to get on a GSR with a new pearl, giving you a quick example, sounds funny, but I'm always with a cup of tea. Why? Because a cup of tea represents tranquilidad. How do you say that in English? Tranquility, right? Did I say that right? And so it represents, you know, that you're calm, that you are relaxed, and that matters to them, believe it or not. And I don't talk hyper. I come very nicely, very, you know, very chilled. I ask questions. How was your day? Things like that. We have like a quick conversation, and then we get to it. But I have to come like, you know, calm. And I have to lead them that way. They like to be led. They like to talk about goals and things like that, but you have to go at their pace. And so that's why it's important for you to have it this way, okay? Now, what happens when they are, you know, when coaches are these gems? So the emeralds, they need structure. You cannot go to an emerald, and I used to do this a lot. You can go to an emerald and be like, hey, you have a minute? We gotta talk. Hey, you have a minute? Blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, that gets them upset. And they don't like anything for you to leave anything last minute. So for example, if we're working together for a project for, I don't know, a clean eating group, and there's a bunch of us doing it, there's no way I can tell an Emerald, hey, let's do a clean eating group starting Monday. We'll open it tomorrow. Let's promote it over the weekend. Mm-mm. You leave a bad taste in their mouth. And they want to see results. That's another thing with them. So how do I handle Emeralds? Since they need structure and they don't like things last minute, I meet with my Emerald once a week for 15 minutes over the phone. And we, very quick, we go over structure. We go over, structure and goals. Where are you at? What's going on? Do you need help? Do you need help closing anybody? Blah, blah, blah. Do you need pointers? No? Good. Okay, if you need anything, message me. Done. But that appointment is set every week at the same time, same day. They need structure. Okay? The pearls, they bring peace to the team. You have to have at least 1 or 2 pearls in your team, because if not, forget it. If it's a bunch of sapphires and rubies and emeralds and you don't have a pearl, oh my God. It's almost like they keep everybody balanced, even though a lot of people don't like working with them. I have a very strong pearl in my team. She's actually family, my sister-in-law, and I love working with her. Like, sometimes, yes, the frustration sets in, but I promise you, I love working with her. She keeps me grounded, because if it's up to me, I do crazy things for my team, and she's like, whoa, Mel, you're not realizing this. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. You have to have those pearls. But they don't work well under pressure. They don't work well under pressure, and the rank does not matter to them. I've tried to get my sister-in-law, Gabby's my witness, to go to rank to diamond for 2 years, and it didn't happen. The desire was there. She would talk about it, but it wasn't like, I don't know, like, rank doesn't matter to me. And she would literally tell me, rank doesn't matter to me. But the moment I decided, I learned this business. I learned personalities, and I learned how to lead them. I realized that I needed to look at the cost behind that rank. And the cost behind that rank to her was a mortgage payment. They just bought a new house, and she wants to pay the mortgage payment with Beachbody money. And the moment we spoke about it, and it became before her, within 2.5 weeks, she became diamond. Just like that. 2.5 weeks. And she only had 2 coaches under her. She didn't have emeralds. She didn't have anything. She was emerald with 2 coaches. That was it. So it's important that you don't lead them by rank. Find the cost. What would that rank do? And you'll see them get there. Rubies. We love being led by challenges, and we love pressure. I don't mind working under pressure. I don't mind losing sleep over something that I know is going to be fruitful. We love that kind of pressure. And we have to have vision. We have to know why we're doing it. Like, it has to feel powerful to us. And then the sapphires, of course, they love fun challenges among the team. They're very competitive. They're super social. They're faithful, but if they don't show up to every team call, don't take it personal. It's structure. They don't like structure. I have 2 very strong sapphires in my team, and they may not make it to every single team call, but they are the strongest players in my team. I don't take it personal anymore. I used to, but not anymore. Okay? So what changes did I make when I started learning all of this? The communication in my team used to be one way. It used to be through either chat or a Facebook group. What I decided to do was I was going to work with people individually based on their personality and their goal. And of course, I had to work with the willing. I wasn't trying to work with everybody. I had to decide who really wanted this, and then I took it from there. I started becoming intentional with my words. The same way that I'm intentional on social media, I became intentional with my coaches. And like I said, I started leading them individually based on their goals and things like that. I also had to learn in the process that there's controllable and uncontrollable goals, and I misspell that. Controllable is emerald, rank, ruby, and diamond. And I say diamond because, let's face it, we can control our parent account, husband, this, that. Like, you can make yourself diamond. What you cannot control is star diamond and above. So you help people get to diamond, and your job is not to control them to get to star diamond. That is their job. You just lead them, and you empower them and train them for them to duplicate what they did. But after that, like, there isn't much you can do other than be there for them and continue to mentor, but focus on the new people. Okay. And what were the effects? Doing all of this I just told you. What were the effects in my business? So I have happy challengers. People actually finish now in the groups. I have coaches that are focused, and the business is growing. We have, like Gabby was saying, in the last 6 months, I've been able to help 5 people go to diamond. And that was crazy. But honestly, it was, number one, glory goes to God. But 2, because I took time to learn about myself. Because at the end of the day, this is not manipulation. This is you. This is not you manipulating your team or anybody. This is you really getting to know yourself first, because it starts with you, how you are and how you work well with others. And then leading them based on what they want and how they like to be led. Okay? And how did I find out? How did I learn this? So First Steps to Wealth, literally one of my favorite books in the world. It's very large, but I'm going to tell you, if you go to chapter 3 and 4, if you get the book is free, by the way. Free if you do it online on her website. And if you want the actual book, it's free. You just pay for shipping, $7. And no, I don't get commission. But I tell people about it all the time. And her chapters 3 and 4 are the ones you want to read. That goes very detailed as far as working with people and things like that. And of course, Personality Plus, in which I read, and it's very similar, but I really like the gems better. Maybe because I saw her explain it in person, and I'm a very visual person. So that's the reason why I think I connect more with the gems. So hopefully that wasn't a lot of information, but I would love to take any questions that you may have. And thank you. Okay.
Hi. I was looking at all the gems. As a matter of fact, I'm reading that book again twice. I needed to really focus on that. Thanks to Gabby. She recommended it. When I'm looking at the gems, I see myself in a lot of them. You know what I mean? That's possible. Not everything, but
actually,
I am looking at myself. It doesn't mean that I'm all over the place. I just think it's personality, and that you really have to narrow it down with that particular person.
Actually, let me tell you what happens once you master the gems. If you can relate with all 4 at some level, that's actually a good thing. It means that you're becoming that leader, number one, that this network needs. Because in order for you to be effective, you have to learn to become other gems. You have to learn to master all 4 of them. Now, naturally speaking, we just like we have 2 love languages, we are naturally we have we're strong in 2 types of personalities. But as you grow as a leader, and this is where personal development kicks in, you naturally become all 4.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you relate with a lot, I say that as in your leadership, you're definitely 3 steps ahead than a lot of us, because I still struggle with that.
Well, yeah, because in the not-for-profit world, it wasn't called gems. It wasn't called gems. And I'm looking at it, and we used a lot of these languages, though. We did use these words. The only thing, it's just a different world than Beachbody has. And that's when I'm looking at it. And when I read it twice, I'm like, I'm a mix of all of this, a little bit here, a little bit there. So it's pretty well balanced, I would say, I hope
actually, so I'm a pearl, I'm a ruby, emerald, and to be honest, and Gabby and I talk about our personalities all the time, I'm not sure which one I'm the strongest anymore. Yeah. I think with Beachbody, and because of the way our, the structure of our company, I think I have grown more into an emerald. I think in the beginning I was a ruby more, which is why I was having all the problems I was having. And I think as I've grown as a leader, my emerald kicks in more, which is a good thing, right? But I also noticed that I have part sapphire in me. This is where the community comes in. This is where the part of me wanting to do retreats for my team, and we're always doing something online. I do gatherings online with my team, non-business related, just to get to know one another more, especially with the newer coaches and things like that. So I realized the sapphire in me kicks in a little bit. I'm still struggling a little bit with the pearl, but I've gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah.
I have to add, Ada, that we all have a little bit of all of the gems, of all four of the gems, because we're not like, we can't be put in like one particular gem. I just don't think that's possible. But I'm going to bump up the test because I know that Amy has to take it as well. I'll bump it up so that you guys can retake it for those that haven't taken it or have taken it but want to retake it. And typically what it does is that it gives you where you are strongest in, and there's like a second strong, gem as well. So it's like your first and your secondary, and then you'll see like percentages on the other one. And because we have a little bit of all, right? But we are stronger in two of them. Like for example, when Melanie was talking about emeralds and that emeralds can't do things last minute. I'm an emerald, like I think I was conditioned to be an emerald because my mom is an emerald. Okay. But I'm also an introvert, right? So I know I'm not a sapphire. I'm a sapphire with the people that I feel comfortable with, right? But when Melanie said, with emeralds, you can't say, hey, let's do a group on Monday. And because the sapphire would be like, what are you talking about, right? But I'm a sapphire, and I'll be like, yeah, you tell me Sunday. I'm like, let's do it. Melanie doesn't work like that. But that's because I have the sapphire tendencies. Like my mind it works that way. Carolina Lopez is not on the call. She's a freaking sapphire, like to the 10th power. And I've learned that about her. So I don't like, I don't take it personal when she doesn't, when she misses the calls, because that's Carol for you. Carol cannot follow structure because it's like an emerald, you know what I mean? With numbers and with having structure, it's like the opposite for them. They're like, structure, number, what are you talking about, So it's okay to have a little bit of, and I think that with you is because of your background too. This is a relationship business, and that's where you come from. You come from people, from a business that was based on servicing people. So you're in the right field.
Well, thank you.
I have to say this was amazing. I mean, the visual is so awesome. I mean, this is definitely the same thing you talked about on the national, the Llamada Nacional, but seeing it, I mean, not that I can't say, girl, pass me the PowerPoint. I took the notes.
The pictures too.
They were taking pictures. They were sharing it in the chat too. But yes, please pass the PowerPoint, but it was excellent. I mean, everything about this whole call was amazing. So I'm going to open it up because I see Gladys is eager to say something.
My girl.
Hi, Melanie. So thankful that you did this call. When I listened in, it's one thing, but again, seeing it is another. So my question is, what advice do you have for those that want to change their gems? So very strong emerald and pearl, and that is who I am. I don't think I could ever change completely who I am, but I know I need to get a little bit more in those other categories just because it is affecting me. I overthink. I overread. I actually just finished doing another hour of PD before getting on the call. So it's just, I know I'm an encyclopedia. Like I know that, my goal always in life is always be that person that someone can talk to. So I know about cars, I know about countries, I know,
Yeah.
And I need to get over that and be a little bit more relaxed. For me, if there's no structure, why go on?
No, but okay, so here's the deal. You don't stop being Gladys to become something else, right? So to give you a perfect example, and I keep bringing up my sister-in-law because she is a pearl and a very strong one. Gabby can definitely tell you. And so we're working together now in terms of her leadership. She, as pearls, you don't like confrontation. You like I don't know if how strong you are as a pearl, But when you're a strong pearl, for example, you don't like confrontation and you like things done a certain way and just let me be, leave me in my bubble and let me be. But truth is, in this business, especially going for diamond and beyond, you have to tap into the ruby in you. And there is ruby, like Abby was saying, we have all 4 gems within. You just have to learn to tap more into it. So my advice is, you love personal development. That is a strength. That is a major strength, especially in this network, because most people struggle with personal development. Or they feel like it's not necessary. You hear it in the national wake-up calls all the time with top coaches that, that was one of their downfalls. So continue with that personal development, but start learning from a ruby perspective. Like, what would a ruby listen to, right? Leadership. You have to activate the ruby. Leadership. Put yourself in the place of most potential. So inviting to the business, it is the most scary thing to a pearl emerald if they're not ready. That's where you have to step in as a ruby. And sometimes it just takes the matter of doing. So with my sister-in-law, for example, that's what we're working on. We're working on, okay, your coach, this needs to happen. I normally step in a lot for my coaches, and it's one thing that I'm learning not to do because I need to have them, fly away and like take charge of their business. But now I say, okay, so-and-so's becoming inactive, or, this is happening with your coach. Do me a favor. This is what you're going to tell her. And I'm helping her get there. I'm helping her turn up that ruby in her, the leadership in her, because that's what rubies are. They're leaders. And it's hard to activate that, which is probably why it's hard to either invite or recruit or truly take charge of your business. You just have to activate it. But that personal development, take advantage of that strength and find the books and the resources or even trainings. I don't know what you can, and I'm sure Gabby can tell you exactly what you need because she knows you more. But it's like an activation. You're able to do it. Just like with me, with pearls, when I'm going to have a conversation with pearls, I literally have to activate the pearl within me. Especially a day like a Thursday where I'm running reports and I'm on qualifications and this and that. And then like now, my sister-in-law needs to activate somebody. And now I have to shut off my emerald mindset and say, okay, I am about to call Julissa. I need to bring it down a notch. Like it's almost like becoming a different person almost for a moment, which is weird, but it's true. That's just how you have to do it. You have to find it within you. Does that make sense, Gladys? So don't stop being the emerald. Take advantage of your strength and to be able to, to tap into the other one. I would say if you feel like you want to be a ruby more, which that's what I'm assuming you're referring to, because unless you want to be a sapphire more. Sapphire? Can you
I feel better on the sapphire. I think ruby is just way too out there for me. So to ease myself into it, I think I should sapphire. But when I'm telling you strong, I'm dead even in pearl and emerald. Dead even.
I understand.
And the other ones, I think I scored like a 4 or something.
Yeah. To be I don't think it's hard to be a sapphire, especially when you have such a wonderful team and you guys do so much together in New York and things like that. I think turning on the sapphire shouldn't be that hard. I think what you need to do is challenge yourself to tap into the ruby, because that's where you're going to place yourself. That's where you're going to place yourself in the best potential, because that's where you're going to see your business grow. Because you need to, in order for you to be successful in this business, you have to have a backbone. Let's be honest. And you have to tap into that ruby, whether it's a little bit, whether it's, gradually getting there, but you can't be afraid of wanting to tap into that ruby. You can't. In the moment you do, I promise you, great things are going to happen to you. I'm telling you, it's happened to my 5 diamonds. None of them have ruby in them, but they've learned to, if you want to be successful and you want to tap into it, and we're gradually working on it little by little.
Thank you. I love following you, BTW.
You're awesome. I love following you too. And Matilda, she's awesome. Hi, Nilda.
Hi, Melanie. How are you?
Good.
So according to Gabby, I'm a freak of nature. Because I am like literally evenly split between an emerald and a sapphire. So
you're my ideal coach.
I'm like a unicorn. So what the hell do you do with me?
Oh my God. No, you have the best mix, I feel. I used to think the best mix was ruby emerald. I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. That's not it. I promise. No, I'm kidding. No, actually, you do have the best mix, I feel.
Yay.
But do you have a question, or you want to just know more about it?
Well, I'm just learning about the gems. I didn't even know what an emerald was or a sapphire was, but
okay.
I definitely like to tap more into the ruby, and even myself.
And honestly, to tap into the ruby, it starts with the PD in this business. You know, taking it in the context of being a coach, it's tapping into that, into intentional personal development. Focus on John Maxwell and the either the 21, what is it, 21 laws, the 21 something laws, or there's another book of his that's really good, and it would help you. It would help you tap into
the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership.
Yeah. So that one is good, and then I'm going to tell you the next one. Gladys, the energy bus. If you haven't read it, it will help you tap into the sapphire side. And developing the leader within you. And Gladys, or actually both of you, Awaken the Giant Within. It's a great book to activate your ruby side if you listen to it a few times. I did that with 2 of my coaches, and it was awesome. And so yeah, developing the leader within you and the 21 laws. I promise you, those will help. And then of course, the 10-time rule. Always, like that's a great book, but that's more when you're ready to go on like on a recruitment mode. But as far as like growing as a leader and like tapping into the ruby side, definitely John Maxwell books, period. But those 2 books are really good.
Great, thank you.
And know that to tell you about yours, to be honest, I personally love working with Sapphire Emerald, and actually, hello, my success partner is Sapphire Emerald, and it's great because they're focused enough when it comes to the task, but they know how to have fun and chill back, and like, you know, versus when you're with a ruby, like somebody like myself, I promise I'm working on it. When I'm on work mode, and I want to know it now, and I want to get it done now. And that could be a bad thing working with people like that, and which is why in 2015, I respectfully say I lost 7 coaches, straight up, quit, done, gone. And it's because I was leading my team like a train, almost like we gotta go, we gotta da-da-da-da. Like there was no compassion, there was no fun, there was no, you know, everything was so So the fact that you have that mix is actually really good, because when you have these crazy goals with a team, like let's say when you go for elite next year and things like that, assuming you're going for elite, right? I'm just speaking life into you right now, girl. Going for a goal like that, your personality, it's going to be able to lead a team that way, because you're going to be focused on numbers, you're going to be focused on business, but you're also fun and cheerful, and so you're going to be able to bring both, and it's going to bring harmony within the team you're leading.
That's good.
So
that's good to know. So I'm not the total freak.
No, you're not. You're a perfect mix.
You're a freak like me.
What?
I said you're a freak like me.
Yay.
Which is why I attracted you. We're freaks together. This call was amazing, but we're over our time. I know Melanie has to go pick up her girls. Drop them off. Everyone gets to ask all their questions. Yes. Comment. Any comment for Mel?
I know I'm reading. No, not from me. I'm just reading to make sure there was nothing in there. So I'm good. I have another 10 minutes if you need anything. If you don't, then I'm good.
Good. This was an amazing call. Melanie, few things before I forget. Share the PowerPoint, please, so I can share it with the team. I'm going to upload this recording as soon as possible, guys. The other thing is, I know that we've done the ideal coach. So do you have, I mean, typically you have a call to action. So I know that she's going to close it with that.
Oh, yes. I do have a call to action for you guys. So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you guys, and Gabby, you either send it to Gabby or she'll do screenshots the way I did with my team when you did my team call last time. I want to see you guys as ideal coach. And so Gabby, if you can start a thread in your group and then just screenshot, and I want to see it. So she's going to send it to me, and I want to see how detailed you are. And you have to, it can't just be 5 or 6 words, like be detailed. Like, who do you see in front of you? Like, if you can have a power team, and I'm going to take it a step further, but if you can have a power team right now, huh?
Due date.
Friday. Wait, what's today? Today's Thursday. Sorry, I'm thinking it's Monday. My team closed on Monday. Monday. So Monday, you have the weekend to get this done. For those of you that work and things like that. Another thing, you need to have your dream list. I actually, and I forgot to mention this in the presentation, I had as of June, 25 people on my dream list, and I already recruited 6. Because I was intentional with my words, I was intentional in my conversations, I was intentional in attraction. And I already attracted 6 of them since June from my dream list. You need to have a dream list. You need to sit down and say, I will be a 15-star diamond coach, and it's gonna be with so-and-so, so-and-so, and like make a list. And I had a list of those women. I still do. I have 19 left, and I'm hopeful. I am hopeful. 2 of them started as discount coaches, and they're starting new coach camp on Monday. They were discount coaches, one for 6 months, the other one for 4 months. And they're starting it. They will start somewhere, even if they start with their own journey. Mm-hmm. People that were heavy set, and I didn't care. I knew with their motivation and personality, they were going to be great coaches, and I believe it. So 2 things I want to see. Or you don't have to show us your dream list. That's uncomfortable, but at least a number. Give her a number. I know, I'm like, give her a number. Say, in my dream list, I have X amount of people, and this is what my ideal coach looks like.
And the ideal coach, guys, I have, samples, just like the one that Melanie gave us. So I'll definitely put those up. And then, Mel, the list of your words.
Yeah, I'll send that to you. I'll type them right now real quick because somebody else asked me for them too, and she's waiting since yesterday. So I will type them up and send them to you along with my presentation in a few minutes because, yeah.
Thank you. That was amazing. I mean, this was awesome. Thank you so much.
Anytime.
All right, girl. Thank you, team, for hopping on.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.